I've done the cast on row of just a few stitches and turned it over. So this is the first row, this is the setup row. You want to knit the first stitch of every row. So I knit that stitch. You bring the yarn forward, slip the stitch as if to purl, bring the yarn back, do a yarn over, and then knit the next stitch. So it's bring the yarn forward, slip the stitch as if to purl, bring the yarn back, yarn over, and knit the next stitch. Bring the yarn forward, slip the stitch as if to purl, yarn back, yarn over, knit the stitch. Bring the yarn forward, slip as if to purl, bring the yarn back, yarn over, knit a stitch. Yarn forward, slip as if to purl, yarn back, yarn over, and knit the last stitch. That was the setup row. Now this is the first row of the brioche stitch. You want to knit the first stitch on every row. So knit that stitch. See how these two stitches are kind of sitting on the needle together? There's these two stitches, the knit stitch, those two stitches. You're going to treat these two stitches as if they're the same stitch from now on. So you are going to knit these two stitches together. You're going to bring the yarn forward, slip that knit stitch, bring the yarn back, yarn over, and then knit these next two stitches together. Same pattern. Bring the yarn forward, slip the knit stitch as if to purl, bring the yarn back, yarn over, and knit these two stitches together. Bring the yarn forward, slip the stitch as if to purl, bring the yarn back, yarn over, knit these two stitches together. So every time you see those two stitches together on your needle, those are the two stitches that you need to knit together. Bring the yarn forward, slip as if purl, bring the yarn back, yarn over, those two stitches are together, knit the two together, and then you just knit that last stitch. Now, the last second row of the pattern, you knit the first stitch. This time you're going to start, you have the knit stitch right there, so this time you're going to start with the bring the yarn forward, slip the stitch as if to purl, bring the yarn back, yarn over, and then these two guys that are sitting together on your needle, you knit those two together. So you're knitting the knit stitch and the purl stitch from the previous row, the slip stitch and the purl stitch from the previous row. Bring the yarn forward, slip as if to purl, bring the yarn back, yarn over, knit those two stitches together. Bring the yarn forward, slip as if to purl, bring it back, yarn over, knit the two together. This is the pattern that you can continue repeating each row, and you'll get to know which way you start the row by which stitch is sitting on your needle first. Yarn over, knit your last stitch. So you always knit the first and last stitch of the row. So as you can see here, we've got the pattern going. You would knit this stitch, knit those two together. This is where you do your yarn over or your yarn in front, slip, yarn over, knit them together. So when you begin each new row, just start with whatever stitches are facing you. I hope that helps.